Hello and welcome to Spoken Like a Native podcast. My name is Diane. I'm an English teacher from Scotland and a devoted language learner, and this podcast is for those learning English to improve their listening and vocabulary, with episodes on engaging topics like culture, current events, history, and how languages work. If you want to improve your speaking and listening, head over to SpeakMeeters.com, where you can take part in small group conversations hosted by native speakers. This is an amazing way to boost your fluency, expand your vocabulary, and increase your confidence by practicing with qualified, certified, and selected native speakers who really enjoy helping people. There are sessions at a range of levels for English, French, Spanish, and German, so book your first session today. SpeakMeeters.com. And don't forget, you can take part in this podcast by telling me your ideas for topics. Information about how to get in touch with us is in the description. Enough beating around the bush, let's get this episode underway. So we're back for another episode. This is episode number 9 of Spoken Like a Native. My name is Diane and I'm a host at SpeakMeeters, where I do sessions in English. I also go there to practice my French and my Spanish. So this is going to be part 2 of the episode with Nelly, who is also a host. She hosts sessions in French. And what's going to be coming up in the next few weeks. So soon we'll have another episode that I've done jointly with Sarah, who helped me a lot in talking about idioms, some of their idioms that we use a lot, those kind of phrases like "it's raining cats and dogs" that people find it difficult to use but make you sound a lot more native. And also we're going to have a session of SpeakMeeters so you can get a flavor for yourself of what we do. So I'm going to record one of the sessions, so that should be fun. Anyway, let me get on to talking to Nelly. So you are a host on SpeakMeeters and you host sessions for people improving their French.
Yes.
And yeah, so how long have you been doing that?
So I'm on SpeakMeeters since 2020,
Okay.
since the beginning of COVID.
Okay.
So I saw the beginning of SpeakMeeters because before that it was a physical meet with people in order to meet people to speak the language that you want to learn. And at the time, I was searching for things like this. So I was searching for this, and I found trip meters. So it was called trip meters, and I had the opportunity to chat with Steph, which is the founder of Trip Meters, and he said, yes, we have this event next week. You can come and speak with people with different areas, different languages. So I was excited, and next week it was COVID.
I
It
see.
was COVID, it was a lockdown, you can't do anything. And at that time, Steph um, had the idea to make it online, and we call it SpeakMeeters.
Okay.
So it was at the beginning, and I decided to host a session in French and to participate in sessions in English and a little bit of Spanish.
Okay. So how is your Spanish?
My Spanish is very, 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 very bad. It's I have a very beginning level. I used to speak Spanish because I study it in high school,
Okay.
and before high school, but I've lost everything.
Yeah, I'm sure you can pick it up and improve because I studied Spanish at school and then I left it for years and years and years until I met my partner at the time. He didn't speak very much English and I was like, oh, okay. I tried to speak Spanish at that point. I couldn't remember very much of it.
and so it was a long gap without any studies, and then now I'm quite good, but it's a lot of practice.
Yes, I have the frustration to. It's difficult because I have the frustration that I used to speak it and
Mm,
now I can't do it anymore.
mm,
So I have to go. I have to delete this frustration
mm,
and start over. And it's the thing that I can't do right now.
mm.
Like I think it will be easier for me to start to learn another language that I don't know at
Right.
all, that to relearn Spanish.
But yeah, that's an interesting point, because if you have something like, for example, Duolingo, I don't know if you used Duolingo.
No, I don't use it, but I
Okay.
know it.
Yeah. So basically, with one membership, I think it's I'm not advertising for Duolingo, but I think it's very useful for just a daily practice to
Mm,
remind you of vocabulary and grammar. It's quite good at picking up on your pronunciation as well, I think.
okay,
But
okay.
what's good about what's good and bad, I think, about Duolingo is that you have one account, and you're not limited to one language, so you can study as many languages as you want.
Yes.
So it's possible there that you could say, oh, I'm really bored of French, or I'm really bored of Spanish, so I'm going to study Arabic or Dutch or Russian
Mm,
or Mandarin Chinese, and you feel good because you go from zero to knowing how to say my name is, and 1 2 3 4, and so you learn something and you feel really good, and you get
yes.
all the dopamine and the serotonin in your brain. It's like, yeah, I learned something. But actually, you think about it, is it really useful if you're never going to live in an Arabic speaking country, or to live in a Russian speaking country? Is it just that it's making you feel better, and it's
Yeah.
not, maybe you should invest more time in the languages that are really useful to you, you know?
Yes.
So I understand that feeling of sometimes if I'm working on my Spanish or my French, and I go, oh, I'll just do some Dutch, because it's like going from zero to
Yes.
level one.
Yes. So yes, right now for Spanish, I can say like three sentences that I say since I think 10 years now. And
Yeah,
I can sing in
you
Spanish
can sing.
because
Oh.
I watch a lot of Violeta. I don't know if you know it.
Violetta,
It yes, it was an how do we say it?
a series?
Argentina TV show.
Argentinian.
Yes, Argentinian, thank you, TV show. So for teenagers,
Mm.
and I watch it,
Mm.
and it was in Spanish. So no, it was in Disney Channel,
Ah,
translated in French, but the songs are in Spanish. So
okay.
I used to sing it a lot.
Uh-huh. I think music is a good way to learn languages
Yes.
as well, because it engages not just your logical brain, but
Mm.
your emotions are engaged as well. And I think you remember things a lot better that you learn in a song.
Exactly. So now I'm trying to understand what I was singing all
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah. Okay. And so, how about your English? Why did you want to? I imagine you already knew how to speak English before you started at SpeakMeeters, right?
Yes. So I've started to learn English in oh I don't know how to say it in English. Um, since a primary school,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
since a primary school, and because in Ivory Coast we in the schools, especially in high school, you have to speak English. So
Mm-hmm.
um, you have a field,
Mm-hmm. A
you have
subject?
a subject.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. You have an English subject, but in the way that we learn English, it's a lot of writing
Mm.
and less speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a great level in writing, in reading too, but my speaking is not as great.
Mm.
as I want I want it to be. So I want to speak meters in order to speak with native people,
Mm-hmm.
to have my ear be used to the way that native people speak,
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to respond to it without thinking too much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my it's the thing that I have to work on, because I really think a lot
Mm.
before saying the words.
Yeah. Okay. And how many sessions of English are you doing per week?
Oh, at the beginning, so during the lockdown, it was practically every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I
can
had a
imagine.
bunch of, yes. But since 2022, it's less like one session per week or every 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a little busy with my work.
Yeah.
But back then it was practically every day, and it really helped me a lot,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have this level right now that I had
Yeah.
before.
So you feel
So
like you've improved a lot.
yes,
Mm.
I wouldn't be able to do this interview
Yeah.
before Speak Future.
Yeah. And sometimes I think I spoke, I mentioned this because I did a session in Speak Meters yesterday in English, and people were saying, "Oh, I don't feel like I'm improving. It's the same thing every day." And other people said to this person, "Well, hang on. I remember you 6 months ago, and
Mm,
you could hardly. You were asking the person to repeat everything. You couldn't understand things. You said the same words all the time. I don't understand. I don't understand." And now you can speak quite fluently, but so the point is that often we don't notice our
mm,
improvements until we look back on 6 months or a year, and we say, "Oh, look how I was then, and look how I am now." Even if I feel like I still could improve a lot, I have improved in many ways. And it's also not linear. It doesn't always go up in the same line, the same improvement all the time. Sometimes you get stronger at one skill and you get weaker at another skill. It depends what's happening in your brain, what's happening in your life
yes.
at the time. So yeah, that I think everybody has that feeling if they practice a lot of their language skills and they feel as if they're not improving, but then suddenly they realize, oh, actually, I've made a big improvement in that time.
Yes.
Yeah. And so apart from doing the speaking sessions, what else do you do with your English?
I watch a lot of TV shows
Mm-hmm.
in English, with English subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
I try sometimes to watch it without subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's difficult to catch all the words.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of comedy.
Mm-hmm. What kind of things do you
Uh,
watch? Can you give an
uh,
example of a show you watch?
yes, right now I'm into Suits.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I really like it. But for example, Suits, it's a very challenging TV show, because it's speaking about technical things like finances.
Mm-hmm.
It's about lawyers in finance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
you have a lot of context, of vocabulary, situations related to the US law
Mm.
and the finance law with big companies.
Yeah.
So I'm doing finances classes and law classes and English classes at the
Hmm.
same time.
Yeah. And do you
So
find do you mainly watch American shows or do you ever watch stuff that's with a British accents?
British accent, only one show, The Crown,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
that I like very much, about the England family,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only this one. And I have another one. It's not British. it's Peaky Blinder, so it's another accent.
It's from it's English. I think it's the Midlands area. So yeah, they are
Yes,
British. Yeah, yeah, that's
British
definitely a
but
different
with
type.
a different accent. Yes.
Yeah, but that's a good point. I was just thinking there, if if people mainly only watch things like The Crown, they get the impression that everybody in Britain speaks like the Queen. But it can be good to watch something like Peaky Blinders or maybe The Office or some other shows where you get a range of different accents and you hear that there is actually a lot of variety.
Yes.
I haven't watched Peaky Blinders, but I've heard that a lot of people really like it.
Yes, it's a very great show, but
Yeah,
it was challenging at the beginning with the accent.
yeah, yeah, like Birmingham accent. It's a bit strange, but it's nice. I like it. A lot of people don't like that specific accent from the Midlands. It has a reputation. Most people in Britain say, "Oh, it's so ugly. Don't like it."
You just have to be used to
Yeah.
it.
So, do you find the Americans or American English or British English easier? Which one is easier for you?
I don't know because I I found it very interesting and funny all the videos that make a comparison
Mm.
about the two languages.
Mhm.
So sometimes I think that I'm a mix of the two.
Mhm.
I have some words that I pronounce like in the US and other words like in the British,
Mhm.
in the in England, but I don't think that I have a preference.
Okay.
It depends.
Yeah.
But I found it very funny because I follow a lot of comedian content creator,
Mm.
and the differences, like sometimes they do sketch about for example a US person coming in England,
Mhm.
and they
I think I know the person you mean. Is it like a bit YouTube shorts, short videos, and he does?
you
Is
yes,
it a
you have
guy?
a lot of person.
Mm.
I don't have the names,
Mhm.
but I follow many person doing this type of thing. And the the funny was one that I remember was like, it was someone in the US. He was in the restaurant, but
Mhm.
server, how do you say server?
Yeah, in America they say server, or you could say waitress, waiter.
Okay, so the waiter was a British one,
Uh huh. Okay.
and the American the American client was like, "Excuse me, is it possible to have another waiter because I don't speak British?" and and the British waiter was like, "Come on, the same English, you can do it." So it was very funny
Yeah.
to have it. And so the American client said all the things that he want to have, and when the British waiter repeated, it was like with the very British accent, and the client was like, yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. So yes, it's very funny to see all the sketch about the differences between the languages, but I don't
Yeah.
have a preference.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's not just it's pronunciation is different, but also we have completely different words for so many things. There's
Yes,
yeah. It's amazing. Something like vacation. They say vacation. We
holiday
say holiday. They say trash. We say rubbish.
or
Um,
bathroom, restroom.
but yeah, when you say bathroom, yeah,
Mm.
restroom, and we just say toilet basically.
Oh, okay,
You
interesting.
can say bathroom and people will understand you, but it's like ooh bathroom, oh it's so posh, you know. Um,
Oh,
in
okay.
what else is there? In America, they might say like ladies room. What else was I going to? There's a couple that are they're quite funny, like the things that you wear on your legs, the
Yes.
clothes. in what would you call that? Like
Uh,
you're just getting
uh,
dressed.
Pants
Okay, in America, yeah, pants,
and trouser in
trousers, yeah.
trouser.
And in
Mm.
the UK, pants is your underwear.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
one thing that's like a big difference. Yeah.
Okay. It's very funny what you're saying because when we at school, like for example, bathroom toilets, for
Mm-hmm.
us we learn it as like they are synonyms,
Mm.
but they don't tell us that in America we said it like this, and in in England we said it like this. So when
Yeah.
you grew up, for you it's just like the same words using you can use one or another, but you don't know that there is a cultural use
Yeah.
depending on the country about those words.
Yeah, I guess it all in the end of the day it kind of depends on like what's the end goal of your use of the language.
Mm,
If you're going to work in America or with American customers or American people, then it would make sense to have the American vocabulary and grammar. But and to be honest, like the American cultural things like Hollywood, Netflix, and TV programs, radio, podcasting is so influential because America is
mm,
such a powerful country.
yes.
It has a big impact on how people in Britain and Australia and other English speaking countries actually speak. Um, you can kind of see that British English is becoming a bit more Americanized
Mm,
as time goes on, and in some ways it's kind of frustrating. But in other ways, it's you can't really prevent it.
mm-hmm,
But it's like with anything, the more nuance you have, the more flexibility you have, the more you can adapt your speech to whoever you're speaking to. Um, but yeah, it can be it can be funny. Like I had a Japanese, I think it was Japanese or Chinese student who was trying to say, um, talking about the place where you put your used things, like your for us it's a rubbish bin,
yes.
and he had his pronunciation was not clear at all. It was very Japanese, and he was trying to say garbage, but
Mm-hmm,
he couldn't really say it properly, and I
yes.
was not expecting that word, and so it took us like 5 minutes before I was like, oh, you're trying to say garbage, trying to say, and I was like, oh, rubbish bin. So sometimes there's like the double level of,
Yes.
can you actually pronounce the word as well as is it the right word to use in that context? So, I think you mentioned that you like to listen to podcasts. Is that right?
Yes, a lot. I listen to a lot of podcasts. Yes.
And which topics do you like to listen to podcasts about?
Um, in English, for example, I listen to On Purpose
Mm-hmm.
by Jay Shetty.
Uh-huh.
And so it's an entrepreneur, and he speaks about the well-being in
Mm-hmm.
general.
Okay.
So it will speak about how to reduce your stress, how to meditate, how to improve relationship with yourself and with other people. And he invite a lot of celebrity in order to speak about these kind of topics. And the thing that I really like about him is that when he invite a celebrity, it's not like uh, interview, like gossip
Mm-hmm.
interview,
Mm-hmm.
just to know how many movies have you done, or how many partners have you been with,
Mm-hmm.
this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think he really show the intimate level of the celebrity, and you really connect with the person. You see this person as a human being, as the person that you can talk with every day, and not as a celebrity who is untouchable
Mm-hmm.
or unapproachable.
Mm-hmm.
Unapproachable.
Yeah.
So I really like how he does his interview, and it's really refreshing, and I learn a lot of things with him.
Yeah. And I think podcasts and audiobooks are a really good way to improve your language skills. Definitely.
Yes.
Any other podcasts you would recommend to people?
I like the podcast with Coach Sonia,
Mm-hmm.
which is she's a business coach, a mindset coach, and I really like how she is. I really like the message that she gives to people. I like how she built her career and how she talked to women that it's possible to have a big career
Mm-hmm.
and to have a family because she has
Okay.
two children. She has a husband. She's fully living all the things that she wants to accomplish in life. So I have a great family and have a great business too.
Okay. Sounds
So
interesting.
her podcast is a Coach Sonia Tips.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Coach Sonia tips. Right. I'll have a look at that
Yes.
one.
And another one that I love is the podcast with Ashley Graham,
Mm-hmm.
which is a model,
Mm-hmm.
and the title is A Pretty Big Deal with Ashley Graham.
Okay.
And she invite two celebrity in order to talk about how they navigate in life,
Mm-hmm.
and I really like her energy, her way to talk to people, and she asks very interesting question too.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. I haven't listened to any of those, but they sound interesting.
And the last one that I really like, it's a French and English
Mm-hmm.
podcast because she does interviews in French and interviews in English too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to remember the name. Oh yes, so the name of the podcast is in French. It's Entre elles,
Uh-huh.
which mean I don't know.
Between them,
Yes,
but women.
we, yes, exactly between women. And the purpose of this podcast is to interview so only women um, that are doing something in life. So she can
Mm-hmm.
be an entrepreneur or she can work in a company. And the goal is just to interview women from very different area and to understand how they navigate in life with their business or with their professional goals and how it is be to be a woman in their fields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it looks. I think I'm going to listen to that because it's going to give me some practice for my French, and it sounds interesting.
It's very interesting, and she interviewed French people that speak in
Mm.
French and people that speak in English.
Okay, sounds cool. Um, do you have any goals for your English for the next couple of years, or what would you like to achieve?
My goals are for this year, or at least for next year, to take again the exam of TOEIC
Uh huh.
because in you have a expiration date of this
Mm.
exam. It's only available for 3 years, and my last degree in my last degree in TOEIC has expired.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take it to pass another one
Mm.
in order to have it again.
Okay. Yeah, it's only valid for 3 years.
Exactly.
Mm. Okay.
So it's only on writing and listening test in France, which is important in order to attest to your level in English.
Mm. Cool. And do you use English in your job at all?
Not really. I've used it like just twice because I have to speak with some computer developers that are in India.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to talk in English, but it's very rare.
Mm. Okay. Is that something you would like to do in the future?
Yes, in the future, I would like to. It's in my plan
Hmm.
to move in a speaking English country.
Oh, really?
Yes, so
Okay.
I don't know, maybe Canada, why not? I've been
Yeah.
in Toronto once for holidays and I really liked the city. So
Hmm.
maybe Toronto or maybe in England.
Hmm.
And my goal is to live there like at least 6 months in order to really be merged with
Mm.
the country and be a real bilingual. My goal is to
Hmm.
really speak English like a native person. So yeah,
Mm.
I plan to do it. I don't know when I will do it, but it's on my plan to move to an English speaking country.
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, you could go. You could go now. I think your English is good enough. You would. You would cope very well. I
Thank you.
think. Well, I think we have loads and loads to talk about, but I think we should we should finish for today, and
Okay.
we can always have another conversation. So thank you, thanks very much for joining me, and I'm sure we'll have a follow up interview another time. Maybe we'll talk about more detail about Côte d'Ivoire, and
Yes.
I think also we're both interested in like being women's issues, being a woman, and how to manage your life and stuff. So maybe we can talk a bit about that. Um,
It will be my pleasure. Thank
yeah.
you very much, Jen, for this interview. It was very great. And I see that I have a lot more to do with my English, but I'm very proud of making this.
No, it's great. You've done really really well, and it's lovely to speak to you. So I'll be in touch. We'll be in touch.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
And there we have it. I can't believe we're up to the end of episode 9. If you've been listening to all of these episodes, thank you very much. It's really great to feel like I can help people in some way. And if you have any feedback at all, please do get in touch. My contact details will be in the description. And remember, coming up in the future, we're going to be talking about idioms, and we're going to have a recorded SpeakMeeters discussion session. So it'll give you a real peek behind the curtain, as it will. And hopefully those involved will get an extra chance to reflect on their own English skills. Just sometimes it can be challenging, but it can help you break through new barriers and improve. So thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer in future episodes, or any questions about me, please get in touch, and I will see you next week. Well, not see you, but you will hear me next week. Okay, bye. Thanks for listening. What do you think about today's topic? Remember, you can get in touch by leaving a comment or by joining the SpeakMeeters community. Follow SpeakMeeters on Instagram and subscribe to Spoken Like a Native on your favorite podcast platform. You can also leave a comment and like the stream. Please, please, please leave a review. It really helps us to find new listeners who are looking for fun language learning content. And lastly, don't forget to head over to speakmeters.com to take part in live conversations hosted by friendly native speakers. That's all for today. Catch you next time. Bye.